Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dana AKA Trihrdrgrl. That's where you can find me on all the platforms. If you're finding me here, I truly believe it's because you're meant to be here. So hit that subscribe wherever it may be in this world. Normally, you're going to see me doing a little bit of exercising and working out and training for triathlon and other such things. But my Thursday was filled with I'm really, really tired, have a major headache, and I just wasn't feeling it. Just my Thursday just wasn't Thursdaying. I started my womanly Shark Week, and it just hit me hard. So I was lazy most of my Thursday. So instead, you're going to be seeing this on Friday or maybe later, but we'll call it Follow Me Friday because I like alliteration. And I'm going to just talk a little bit about who I am and why you should be following me. And the thing is, when it comes to following me, when I follow other people, it's mostly because I have something in common with them, or they made me smile, or they motivate me. That's my biggest thing. I like motivating people and telling them that they can. So, but if you want to find something in common with me, here's a couple things about me. I grew up in Northeast Ohio, a suburb of Cleveland called Garfield Heights. I was there my entire life. My parents owned a home in that town, and my mom still lives in that same home. Throughout school, I don't have much to say because I'm 40 years old now. So when I think back to like grade school, middle school, and a little bit of high school, I feel now those stories are just stories. So either they've been told so much or they're told through someone else's lens that like I don't really talk about that much. But sports wise, I played basketball all my life because I am 6 foot tall. And a basketball coach when I was in middle school said, here's a ball. Figure out how to block people from putting it in the hoop. And it wasn't too hard because I just had to put my hands up. I went to Marietta College in Marietta, Ohio. It is the last exit in Ohio before you hit West Virginia. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a middle of nowhere town. And really the reason I went to college is because I was the last of the baby of 5 kids and no one else had the grades or the means to go to college. My parents had 4 other kids when they were around, and me, I was almost an only child because my siblings are 8 to 14 years older than me. So it's really the only reason I went to college. And this baseball coach was also a recruiter for this college. And he came and a bunch of us girls like ooh, at the baseball coach. And we went and toured Marietta, and I did fall in love with the river. Is probably my favorite part about my college experience was it being on the river. I played 1 year college basketball, but then I knew it wasn't going to be my thing. Plus, we had the coach that recruited me to come down there wasn't there my freshman year, and we had a kind of interim coach that wasn't the bestest. Yeah, I ended up being like a functioning alcoholic in college and just drank a whole lot, had a lot of fun, chose theater as my major because it was pretty much the only thing I didn't have to do math in. The thing is, though, I ended up having to do math because I got into like stage management my junior and senior year. And that's all about like, building the props and helping the directors and everybody get around the stage. And so it's funny that I picked the most mathematical part of theater, even though there really isn't that much. I was going to go on and get into stage management after college, but my dad got really sick and I spent a year and a half, less than a year and a half, like a year and a half, just taking care of him, taking him to appointments. He did have prostate cancer that metastasized to his lower back, his bones, and he passed away in 2008. So I was very thankful that I spent that time. And then I was kind of directionless for a little while. And because I was directionless, I needed to find a direction and I needed to feel some kind of fulfillment with my dad passing away. So I started doing charity runs and raising money for Leukemia Society. I did marathons. I did my first triathlon in 2011 as a charity run. And that's when I first heard about Ironman, which is what I'm doing now. And I had no clue what an Ironman was, and I had to ask someone when I saw their finisher jacket what it was at a triathlon. So that's when I first kind of learned about that. That was right after college. I also got into my first like serious relationship. That didn't work out too well, as some first relationships don't. That's here nor there, and water way under the bridge. So not something I really talk about on here, but something I like to revisit, just in the sense of trying to help a teenager that I have now as a stepdaughter understand relationships and understand things. We were just watching a television show and there's like a total normal happy relationship in it, and she doesn't like it. She gets mad because there's no drama, and it's so sad to see that that's what they know, and it's probably what I knew too. So here nor there, that's not what we're talking about, but a little side note. Yeah, got into marathon running, did all of that. Got into that relationship, kind of had a little sadness after that relationship, gambled way too much, and did not have a whole lot of money, but had a decent job, and knew I needed a change. So I decided that I was going to sell everything I owned, rent a van, because my car got repoed because I didn't pay for it, and moved to North Carolina because I always wanted to live on the beach. My parents had a timeshare in Orlando, Florida, and I was 10 years old the first time that I sat in the ocean and fell in love with it. So I was like, this is opportunity. I need some change. Let's move to the beach. I moved to Wilmington, North Carolina. If you ever get to go. It's one of my favorite places on this earth. And I like to frequently visit back. It's where my hubby proposed to me. It's a lot of special things. I spent 5 years there. I worked for Verizon Wireless call center while I was there, and that wasn't really that great of a happy career for me. But everything else I was doing in Wilmington overcompensated for kind of being in a career that like I really didn't like. I liked the people that I did get to help in my career, but then there was the people that were really, really bad that would call in, and customer service is hard. And if you still do customer service, God bless you. So yeah, 5 years in Wilmington, North Carolina, where I also ended up right when I moved there in 2014, having a pulmonary embolism after my first half Ironman race. I was training a lot. I was doing a bunch of small triathlons, did a half Ironman, ended up with a blood clot in my leg that embolized into my lungs. And then 4 months later, I got diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Got my thyroid taken out at the end of 2014. It was a crazy year. And I truly believe that stress can kind of manifest into your health. And I moved to North Carolina super stressed. I still was drinking a little bit, having fun, partying, all of that, and that stress had already probably gotten into me for sure. So, but I do talk about that a lot on this channel. Both awareness of blood clots and pulmonary embolisms, and that you don't have to be an old person to get one. But unfortunately, it's a very unsurvivable thing. A lot of people do not survive having a blood clot. A lot of people end up stroking, and so I like to put in some awareness and stuff like that on this channel. So that's a little bit about that part of my life. I like to promote that I am a normal everyday athlete. I wasn't given a God-given talent of being an athlete. I wasn't honed into thinking I would be an Olympian one day. It was just, here's a ball, have some fun, all of that through my life. But I like to say that you can do whatever you want. So if you want to be an athlete, just like I consider myself an athlete now, you're an athlete. End of story. So from Wilmington, North Carolina, after my cancer survival, I kind of got away from running because I was a little bit afraid of doing so. Stand by. So I had this fear that running would give me another blood clot, which I did not have any blood disorders. They don't ever tell you a cause of what happened, but it could have very well been my high endurance athletic event that I did, and then sat in a car for a couple hours after. Whatever it may be, it happened. But in my mind, running was going to get me back to that again. So I started lifting weights. I got into Spartan races. I did about 4 years worth of Spartan races, somewhere in the 30 plus of them range. I did everything from an ultra. I became a Spartan coach. I did the hurricane heat, as they call it. And that's where I met my husband. If you haven't heard my meeting my husband story, it was I needed a roommate for a room. And he responded to my Facebook post about needing a roommate. And yes, the very first time I met my husband, we roomed in a hotel together. But I friend zoned him for a very long time. And then in 2018, he was talking about moving out to Nevada. And I was like, I'm sadder than if a friend was just moving out to Nevada. And he was like, will you want to try moving out to Nevada with me? And I was like, okay, we could do that. And the rest is history. We've been out here 2018. So holy cow, in September will be 7 years. That time flies. We got married 3 years ago exactly. Our anniversary just passed. We came out here, and sports wise, we got into doing CrossFit out here too. We've done a couple runs, we've done an ultra together, but after COVID, I really mentioned again wanting to do a full Ironman, and hubby said, okay, I'll sign you up for one. And he signed me up for one. And in 2023, I finished my first Ironman. And it's hard. I sit right under my very first Ironman medal, and that's my cap. Actually, is that my cap from? Yeah, that's my cap from the first year. And my medal and my time and stuff is under there. It's just to remind me, because I do a lot of my vlogging here. I talking to the mirror here, all of that. Yes, there's a whole lot of makeup here, but I don't really do a whole lot of makeup, but it's here. I might end up repurposing this desk and giving some of my makeup as a teenager, because I don't really put it on a lot and I don't feel motivated to. Anyways, that's another story. That's not for about me. And this is getting longer than I wanted it to be, but it's okay. Because like I said, if you've never known any of this stuff, here I am. So did my first Ironman now in 2023. And then like in my brain, I was like, I could do that better. So in 2024, I attempted that same exact Ironman again. I didn't just attempt it, I completed it. I completed my second Ironman. But during the run, something went wrong. My stomach was, so even though I finished it, and I finished it 45 minutes better than my first time, I still wanted to even do better. So I'm signed up again for another Ironman. And that's what I've been doing a lot of my vlogging about, all of that training, and kind of just what I do life here as kind of a traditional wife role, in the sense I don't have a job right now. I'm trying to make this into a career or a way to make money extra for the family, because what hubby makes kind of just pays the bills, but we want to do fun stuff too. So welcome along for the journey. If you made it this far, again, hit that subscribe if you haven't. I've been doing social media for a long time. I wish at some point, and I know people did, but I didn't take it seriously. Hey, you're going to be able to make money from this, so get really good at it. Instead, I just did it kind of passively and for fun and for my friends. But I feel like I'm good at it, and I feel like I have a voice, and I am motivational, and I love people so much that when someone messages me, you inspire me, it inspires me. So I do this for you, but also selfishly because I get that motivation for it. And like I said, I've been doing it a while. I did Snapchat for the longest time. Instagram, all of that. So now YouTube is kind of where I love this long form content, because I feel like we can have a little more connection. So that's a little bit about me. What other questions you have? And I can include that in another video. Maybe we'll do another one of these next Friday. For now, like I said, I'm training. I'm doing this vlogging. I have a run streak. I'm at 71 days of running at least a mile a day. I also am doing a streak for self-care, and I am washing my face every night. I know that seems crazy, but some of you know that that's not always first priority. So I'm on day 7 of that, and I'm going to get into a reading streak here again soon. I started and then I got bad. So I want to get back to that because I enjoy reading. It's something I always love. That's something I do remember physically as myself as a teenager, not someone telling stories, but from when I was little, I knew my library card number by heart. I knew the librarians in high school. My librarian was like my safe space. So I kind of miss that. And I don't remember the exact feelings of that, but I do know that was a happy place for me. So getting back into the world of fiction again, because I would read a lot of nonfiction over the last 5 to 10 years of just motivation and business management, all of that. So I want to get back into that fiction for fun type thing. So yeah, that's what we got going on. I did record a little bit on Thursday of my face washing streak. So here's that. And as always, do not let your I want tos turn into I can'ts. I love you, and I will check in with you very, very soon.